Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatha Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhano Shute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Panchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo Rama Ramo Hare 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 Krishna. I'd like to welcome all of you all to today's we are on part 2 of the Naam Ramayana series. So today we chanted the entire Naam Ramayana, so at least now we know how the Naam Ramayana sounds like for a lot of people who have never recited Naam Ramayana. So we'll continue from where we left off last time, and we discuss a few more beautiful verses of the Naam Ramayana and its deeper meanings. So we'll recite this verse. Suramuni Vargana Samstutaram So this verse refers to a very interesting and a very beautiful pastime where Lord Brahma and all the Devatas, they at some point were very highly disappointed, despondent and frustrated with Ravan and his people. So they were very highly disappointed and despondent at Ravan and his brothers, the atrocities they were doing. So Lord Brahma and the Devatas, they were just discussing that they would like to approach Lord Vishnu and ask him for help. Just when all the Devatas headed by Lord Brahma were thinking like this, Lord Vishnu appeared over there in his Garuda. And interestingly, when Lord Vishnu appeared in his Garuda Airlines, he appeared with 3 symbols in his hand. He got along with him Conch, Chakra and Gadha. But he did not bring the Padma, the lotus. Why did Lord Vishnu not bring the lotus? Was there any shortage of lotuses in Vaikunta? No supply of flower, Or what could be the reason? The reason the Acharyas explain is that Lord Vishnu knew the problem of the Devatas. What is the problem of the Devatas? The problem of the Devatas is that Ravan is troubling them. So, what really is needed is action to eliminate the demons. To eliminate the demons, Shankha, Chakra and Gadha are useful. Is there a lotus that is useful? Can lotus be useful for killing somebody? Obviously not. So, lotus symbolizes creation. And therefore, Vishnu did not bring the lotus to indicate to the devatas that don't worry, the time of creation is over, now the time of destruction has started. So I am going to eliminate the demons. Without even saying that, just by the symbols he is carrying, he is indicating that. And instead of the lotus that he was carrying, Vishnu, he had a Abhaya Mudra. He was holding his hands in Abhay. This Abhaya Mudra is an assurance. Don't worry, I am there for you. So the Lord, if you see in many temples, especially in South India, you will find Lord is an Abhaya Mudra. His hands are like this. So he's telling, don't worry, I'm there for you. So that's an assurance the Lord gives us. Don't worry, I'm there for you. So when the Lord is giving us that assurance, don't worry, I'm there for you, it's not just an assurance for you and me. It is for even the Devatas. Suramuni Vargana Samstutaram. So, even not just human beings, but even the greatest of the greatest gods look for that vara from the Supreme Lord. Look for that assurance from the Supreme Lord. So, all of us need someone who can give us assurance. All of us need someone who can give us hope. All of us need someone who can give us inspiration, isn't it? So now, even the greatest of the gods, even the greatest of the sages, even the most powerful people in this world need someone who tells them, I'm there for you. And such a person who gives that kind of assurance should be praised. The word samstuta means praising. So in this world, everyone wants to be praised. Even Lord Ram wants to be praised. It's not that, only human beings want to hear their own glories. Even the Supreme Lord likes to hear his own glories. So when all the devotees come together and praise him, he feels nice. He feels happy. He feels blissful. The interesting thing is, many times, we as devotees and we as human beings, we are not able to handle praise. Why? Either praise makes us very proud and arrogant, or praise makes us very, uncomfortable. So when, as devotees, in a community of devotees, somebody praises us, we become so uncomfortable with hearing praise about us. And at the same time, sometimes we hanker for that praise. Right? So we are in both extremes. We are either hankering, somebody come and praise us, or when somebody actually praises us, we become very uncomfortable with praise. But here is a very interesting thought. The Supreme Lord Ram, who is giving assurance to the Devatas and to the sages, he is giving assurance, he is giving hope, he is giving inspiration to all these personalities. Such a Ram should be praised. So, from this verse, we can learn many things. But one of the things that we can learn is the importance of praising the Lord. In every religion, there is a concept of praising God. Even in Christianity, the whole concept of Hail Mary, full of praise. Yeah. So, when we praise the Lord, we are the ones who get benefited. It's not that the Lord gets benefited. He has unlimited, Ananta Shesh has thousands of mouths. And with thousands of mouths, he's constantly praising the Lord. And after thousands of mouths constantly praising the Lord from time immemorial, still the number of praises doesn't end. That much the Lord is praiseworthy. And when we offer some prayers, some praises to the Lord, it's like offering Ganga water back into the Ganga. By you offering palm full of Ganga water back into Ganga, is Ganga going to overflow? Water of Ganga going to increase? Obviously not. It's water from the Ganga only that you're pouring back into the Ganga. It's not going to affect the Ganga river. But you pray, you offering that water, it will affect your life. Similarly, the Supreme Lord is praiseworthy. Unlimited people are praising, and you also offer one little prayer, one little praise. It's not going to affect the Lord and His quantity of prayers that is happening to Him. But it's definitely going to make a significant impact in your life. Therefore, this verse, Samstuta Ram, that Ram that loves praises of his devotees. Of course, he does praiseworthy things, but he also loves those who praise him. That's what this particular verse is. Navika Dhavika Mridupadaram. So this verse refers to a very beautiful and a very interesting pastime. When Lord Ram was on the banks of the river Ganga in a village known as Shringaberpur, a small tiny village. And Lord Ram, he spoke to Guha, who was Dasharatha Maharaj's friend. And Guha asked Lord Ram, what can I do for you? Lord Ram told him, can you arrange for someone to drop me across the river? Because he wants to go to the ashram of Bharadwaj Muni. Bharadwaj Muni's ashram is across the Ganga river in a place known as Prayag, where Triveni Sangam is. Guha told Lord Ram that yes, I'll arrange for somebody to drop you. And he assigned one boatman to drop Ram across the river. This boatman, he welcomed Ram, Lakshman and Sita to come on his boat. And Lord Ram was just about to step into the boat of this boatman. Just when Ram was about to put his first step into the boat of this boatman said, hey, wait. Please don't put your foot in. Ram said, what happened? How can I go into the boat without putting my foot in? That time, he said, this boatman said, my dear Lord, your feet are very dangerous. And he said, there is something in your feet which is very, very It's okay. This one, it won't fit in this. Hare Krishna. So this boatman told Lord Ram that don't step into my boat because there is something in your feet which is very dangerous. So Ram was very confused. What is he saying? And then this boatman tells Lord Ram, my dear Lord, when you went to Gautam Rishi's ashram and you stepped on the stone turned into a woman. There is something in your feet, the dust of your feet is very dangerous. I have one wife already. And if you step on my boat and it becomes a woman, how will I handle two wives? So he said, I can't take any risk. You cannot step on my boat. So Lord Ram was confused. So then he said, what should we do? So this man said, let me wash your feet thoroughly and remove all the dust from your feet. Once all the dust from your feet is removed, then once you climb into the boat, it will be risk-free. So Ram said he had no option, so he agreed. And this boatman brought a plate and he asked Lord Ram to place his feet on it. And Lord Ram placed his feet on it. And then this man washed the feet of Lord Ram with Ganga water thoroughly. And then he lifted the feet and saw properly. Again he washed it one more time. Again he washed it. Several times he washed. And every time he washed the feet of Lord Ram, he kept looking at Sita and smiled. It is explained that this particular boatman, in his previous life, he was a tortoise in the spiritual world, in Vaikunta. And he was floating around, swimming around in the ocean, in the milk ocean. And at that time, Lord Vishnu was lying on the snake bed. And one feet of Lord Vishnu was dangling outside the snake bed, And the feet of Lord Vishnu, the soles of Lord Vishnu are pink in color, pinkish in color. And the heel, the back part of the sole, if you see, the back part, the heel of Lord Vishnu looked like a bud of a lotus, like a closed lotus, right? Bud. And this tortoise very innocently thought it is a lotus hanging there. He went to lick it. At that time, Lakshmi Devi got very upset with this tortoise, thinking, what is this? This lowly creature is trying to come and lick my husband. She pushed him away. And the tortoise felt very bad. And eventually the tortoise took birth as his boatman. And now he got his chance to take revenge. So in his previous life, he was not even allowed to touch the feet of the Lord. And this time he was not just touching the feet, he was washing the feet again and again. And not just washing the feet. He took the water of the feet of the Lord and put it on his head. And he drank that water, Charanamrit. And he gave it to all his family members. And every time he kept looking at Sita, because now Sita can't do anything. She is helpless and he is in charge, he is in control. And then Lord Ram got into the boat, and then Mother Sita and Lakshman got into the boat. After they got into the boatman rowed them across the river and reached the other side of the river. And then when they reached the other side of the river, Lord Ram, he had taken a service from this man, right? So he wanted to give something in return. Ram is a king. He's used to, giving big things in return. But now he's living like a beggar. He doesn't have anything to give. So Mother Sita realizes this. She realizes that Ram wants to give, but he doesn't have anything to give. So Sita removes a ring from her finger and gives it to Ram to give it to the boatman. The ring on Sita's finger had the name of Ram written on it. Rama. It made up of beautiful diamonds. Very priceless jewel. So Ram took that ring and gave it to this boatman. And at that time, the boatman told Ram, my dear Lord, please don't give me anything. He said, we both are in the same profession. I am also a boatman, you are also a boatman. So ideally, people of the same profession don't take money from each other, So he said, now I am dropping you on this side of the river. If you want to return the favor, when I reach the last phase of my life, and I have to go across the ocean of birth and death, that time you row me across, and that will be the return of this favor. So that will be like, a good deal. And Lord Ram, obviously, he did not give him the ring. But Ram did something very interesting. Instead of giving the ring back to Sita, he put the ring on his own finger. And Sita was amazed. Why did Ram put the ring on his own finger? Ideally, it is Sita's ring, right? Ram will never wear a ring that says Ram. People of today's world would do that, right? Wear their own name written on, in a jewelry or something. But Ram he would never do that. So why would he wear a ring with his own name written on it? And Sita was wondering, why did he put the ring on his finger? And more than that, this is Vanvas. This is the time of Vanvas. Ideally, during time of Vanvas, Ram is not supposed to wear any jewelry, right? But yet he wears his ring. Why? Because much later, that's the ring that Ram gives Hanumanji to go to give Sita in Lanka. And Sita knows that ring has a very special significance. And that's what this whole verse is. Navika Dhavika Mrudupada Ram. The word Mrudupada refers to the soft lotus feet of the Lord. So now, in this verse, we can meditate on two things. One is the story itself. But the more beautiful meditation along with the story is this thought that the feet of Lord Ram's lotus feet are like a boat. You see, the feet are shaped like a boat only. So when we are in the last phase of our life, if you want to cross over the ocean of birth and death, we are supposed to sit at the lotus feet of the Lord. And the Lord just takes one step. And we are just sitting at the lotus feet of the Lord. And simply by sitting at the lotus feet of the Lord, we can cross the ocean of birth and death. There's a very beautiful story told by Parashar Bhatta in this context. Parashar Bhatta says, one time, there were two ants that were having a discussion with each other. And they were on one mountain and they wanted to go to the other mountain. Now imagine if an ant has to jump from one mountain to another. Can the ant ever do that? Can the ant ever think of reaching the other mountain? It will take a full lifetime for the ant from going from this mountain to the other mountain, right? But this one ant found a very interesting idea. He saw that there was a lion on this mountain. And this ant simply went and climbed at the feet of the lion and sat at the feet. And the lion jumped from this mountain to the other. He made like a huge jump. And the lion crossed to reach the other mountain. Then the ant got off. The ant by itself has no capacity to do it. But Parashar Bhatta said, simply because the ant sat at the feet of a lion, took shelter of the feet of a lion, he was able to cross. Similarly, the Supreme Lord's lotus feet is supposed to be that boat on which we sit and simply take shelter. And when we take shelter of the lotus feet of Lord Ram, he helps us cross this ocean of birth and death. Mithila Purajana Mohakaram. When Lord Ram entered the city of Mithila, there is a very beautiful description in the Kamba Ramayana about this entrance of Ram into the city of Mithila. In a brilliant poetic way, Kamba describes that when Ram, Lakshmana, and Vishwamitra Muni entered into the city of Mithila, throughout the city, the entire city, every single palace, every single house in Mithila had a flag on top. There was a flag on top of every single house of Mithila. And that flag, so that means, imagine Ram is walking into the city. And there are hundreds of flags on top of every house is a flag, straight line. And a wind blows. when the wind blows, the flags begin to flutter. And it's explained, all the flags are fluttering in one direction. And it almost seemed as if there were arms calling Ram, welcome, welcome, like that. So the city of Mithila was welcoming Lord Ram into Mithila. Why was the city of Mithila welcoming Ram into Mithila? The city was welcoming Ram because the city of Mithila had a very valuable jewel. And the city of Mithila was finding a good person to hand over this jewel to. And who was the jewel? The jewel was Mother Sita. And finally, when Ram entered, the city of Mithila felt, this is the right person for me to hand over this jewel to. And the entire city was welcoming Ram into Mithila. And everyone who saw Ram were so mesmerized by the beauty of Ram. It is explained that when Ram was walking towards the bow of Janak Maharaj, he wanted to lift the bow. It is explained that simply seeing the walk of Ram, the citizens of Mithila were convinced that this person is going to lift the bow. Simply by seeing the walk of Ram. And the Acharyas explained that when the citizens of Mithila saw Ram walking, in every movement of Ram, the citizens of Mithila were able to see confidence. And they saw 5 animals walking together. They saw in the walk of Ram, he had the rage of a tiger, Vyagra Gati. He had the pride of a bull, Rishabha Gati. He had the majesty of an elephant, Gaja Gati. He had the regality of a lion, Simha Gati. And he had the speed of a snake, Sarpa Gati. So imagine all these 5 animals coming together and walking. That was the confidence that the citizens of Mithila had in Ram. Now they didn't see Ram's strength or valor or anything like that. They only saw him walk. And simply by seeing him walk, the citizens of Mithila were convinced that this person can do anything. Therefore, Ram is called as Mohaka Ram. The word Mohaka means he can mesmerize you. He can completely mesmerize you. And he can control you in ways that you can't even imagine. In the Mahabharata, there is a very interesting story where Krishna, he comes to Hastinapur as a peace messenger. And when Krishna comes as a peace messenger to Hastinapur, just the previous day, Duryodhan has a meeting with all his people. Duryodhan comes to know that Krishna is coming the next day. Duryodhan calls for a meeting and he tells all the people of Hastinapur that tomorrow morning when Krishna comes to our palace, we are going to insult him. We will not respect him. Who is he? He is a coward boy. Why should we give him respect like a king? So Duryodhan told all his people, I am the king and I command all of you that none of you should respect Krishna and no one should stand up when Krishna walks in. See, when a great sadhu, when a great devotee of the Lord walks in, everybody stands up out of respect, isn't it? So here, when Krishna walked in, Duryodhana gave strict instruction, nobody will stand up. Now, nobody had any option, but they agreed to him. They said, fine, whatever you say, we'll do. Next day, Krishna came. As soon as Krishna came into this court of Hastinapur, everybody stood up. Duryodhana got angry. He said, what is this? I gave you all such strict warning yesterday that nobody should stand up. How come all of you are standing up? He asked his best friends, Karna and Shakuni and all. They were also standing. They told him, you look at yourself. You are also standing, by the way. And suddenly Duryodhana realized, I am also standing. So Krishna is such a powerful person. He's called Mohaka. When he walks in, you have to stand up. You will get mesmerized. you will get completely bewildered, basically. That is the power that the Lord carries. So here we are seeing Mithila Purajana Moha Karam. An entire city is getting mesmerized. Simply Ram walking in. That's all. He's conquered the entire city simply by just walking into the city. Of course, from this, we can have a personal meditation that we are mesmerized by the city in which we live. Everything around us completely bewilders us and mesmerizes us, right? You go into a mall, it's impossible to focus, isn't it? You go for something else, you buy something else and come out. And you forget only where you went in the first place, you know. So the way the world works, that's how it works. It just mesmerizes you completely. But when we get attracted to Ram, when we get attracted to the Supreme Lord, who is the greatest of mesmerizers, it's possible to be more focused. It is possible to be less distracted. It is possible to be less carried away by all the other aspects of moha that we are all a part of. So let us all pray that this moha karam captures our heart. Let this moha karam, who is very expert in capturing hearts, in bewildering the mind, in really holding our attention, hold the attention of our heart also. So we'll chant this verse. Videha manasa ranjakaram. Janak Maharaj, who is the king of Mithila, he had a problem. The problem that he had was he could not find a suitable match for his daughter. No matter how much he tried, he just could not find an ideal match. Why? Because there was a problem that he had. And it was a private problem. He could not tell this to anybody. So Janak Maharaj had this very, very powerful bow that belonged to his family. It came from the dynasty of his ancestors. And this bow was so powerful and so huge that 5,000 people were needed to pick up this bow. That was how powerful and how huge this bow was. And obviously, Janak Maharaj had kept a condition that only someone who can pick up this bow once can marry my daughter. Hundreds of people had come and tried, but no one was able to pick up this bow. Every single person failed. Now, Janak Maharaj was very worried. The reason he was worried was because he was not finding the right person and everybody else around him were making fun of him, thinking that what a stupid person he is. Why did he keep such a condition for his daughter's marriage? Why did he keep such a complicated and such an impossible condition for his daughter's marriage? Everybody thought he was a fool. But actually Janak was not a fool. He had seen something that nobody had seen. When Sita was a small child, When Sita was a small child, she was playing with her friends and she ran into the room where the bow was kept. And the ball with which they were playing had gone below the bow. So Sita just picked up the bow with her left hand and then picked up the ball with the right hand, threw the bow back and ran away. And some of the guards who had seen this, they fainted, literally. They had never seen anyone pick up the bow so effortlessly. Sita just lifted it with the left hand, completely. Of a small child she was. So at that point when Janak Maharaj made sure nobody comes to know about this story. Otherwise they will think that Sita is not a human being. They will think that Sita is some extraordinary power or something. And he wanted to keep this fact hidden, this story hidden. But at the same time, he wanted a husband who can at least lift this bow once. He has to match the power of the wife, right? So Janak Maharaj, he could not tell this to anybody also. But at the same time, he could not, not have this condition also. He was going through a lot in his life. We are all like Janak Maharaj to some extent or other. We have some problems that we can't tell the world. Right? We all have some problems that we can't tell the world. But at the same time, it's a genuine problem. We can't keep it hidden also, So whenever we come across situations where we have a problem that we can't tell the world, but at the same time we are struggling with it so much, that is the time we need Videha Manasa Ranjaka Ram. Because Ram is a person who can solve our private problems. Ram is a person who can give us joy and understand our private problems, understand what we are going through in our life, even if nobody can understand. And he will find a solution to your problem. So many wars had been fought over Sita's beauty. So many kings tried, and they all blamed Janak Maharaj, saying that you kept a condition that is impossible. You wanted to simply insult us. And they actually fought against Janak. But Janak kept his condition intact. He knew someday someone will come who will marry my daughter, fulfilling my condition. And suddenly Lord Ram walks in. And as I said, Vishwamitra, Ram and Lakshman, they walk in. Janak Maharaj introduces them to the bow. And then finally, Vishwamitra Muni, Ram and Lakshman are there. Ram asks Vishwamitra Muni, can I go and see the bow? Vishwamitra Muni says, please go ahead. And Ram walks towards the bow. And this is where the Mithilavasis were thinking, this person is going to do it. And then Ram turns towards Vishwamitra Muni and he says, can I touch the bow? Vishwamitra Muni says, please touch the bow. So Ram goes around the bow 3 times very respectfully, and then he touches the bow of Lord Shiva. And then he turns towards Vishwamitra Muni and asks him, can I lift the bow? Vishwamitra Muni says, please lift the bow. And in one moment, just as effortlessly as an elephant lifts a lotus flower, that effortlessly Ram lifted this massive bow. And he kept it on the ground and he strung it. And as he was stringing the bow, the entire bow cracked. It bent in between and it cracked. And when the bow cracked, practically the entire universe reverberated. The sound was so powerful that practically everybody in the court fainted, except Janak Maharaj, Vishwamitra Muni, Satananda Rishi, Ram and Lakshman. And Janak Maharaj jumped up in great joy because finally something that he had always wanted happened. They hear this particular Ram who has given so much joy to Janak is known as Videha Manasa Ranjaka Ram. That Ram who has made the heart, the mind of Janak Maharaj jump in joy. So whenever we are going through such complicated issues that we can't tell anybody, that we can't share with anybody, but it's consuming us, it is completely eating us up, it is completely disturbing us, that is a time to take shelter of this Ram. And when we take shelter of Ram in this mood, we should be rest assured that Ram is there to lift our burdens. So right now our burden may seem to be very heavy. Our burden may seem to be very, very difficult. And nobody can help you solve your problems. Nobody can help you lift your burden. And you might feel, what is this? Am I going to, suffer like this always? But that is a time to remember, this particular form of Lord Ram, who will always be there for his devotees and help his devotees experience relief from their pain and suffering. I'm going to take a few verses from the Ayodhya Kand of the Ramayana now. So far we have been taking verses from the Balakanda of the Ramayana. So now we'll take a few verses from the Ayodhya Kanda of the Ramayana. Avanitanaya kamitaram. So this verse refers to Lord Ram, who is very drawn towards Mother Sita because she has affection for the world. Avanitanaya refers to Sita, who is the daughter of Mother Earth. So here, in this in this particular story, in this verse, we hear a very beautiful and a very interesting story, and we'll focus on a meditation on this. So when Lord Ram was asked, so just before Lord Ram was sent to the forest by Dashrath and Kaikeyi, they sent Sumantra to get Ram to the palace so that they can reveal what is to be done. So Sumantra goes to the palace of Sita and Ram to invite Ram to Dashrath Maharaj's palace. So when Sumantra reaches the palace of Sita and Ram, Sumantra sees a very interesting scene over there. He sees that Sita and Ram are having a very loving conversation with each other. So Sumantra walks up to Ram and he tells Ram and Sita that Kaikeyi and Dashrath Maharaj have invited you. The moment Ram hears that Kaikeyi and Dashrath have invited, he gets up and he turns towards Mother Sita and tells her, our mother and father have planned something good for us. Now it's a very interesting thing, Why would Ram say like that? Because he's preparing Sita's mind for whatever is coming. See, most kids today, they think whatever their parents are planning for them is bad only. Especially kids reach teenage, then they are 100% convinced whatever parents are planning for us is bad. And whatever we planned for ourselves is good. So in that context, this Ram's way of looking at it is very interesting. Actually, Dashrath and Kaikeyi are planning bad for him. They actually plan to send him to the forest. But Ram is convinced that whatever mother and father are planning is for my good only. When you have that conviction, when you have a clarity in your mind that whatever your superiors are doing for you is for your good, your mind will start looking for good even in that. But when you're convinced that whatever your superiors are planning is bad, you will start finding faults in that. So Ram is preparing Sita's mind from the beginning only. Sita, she looks at Ram and smiles at him, which means she acknowledges that fact. So Ram and Sita walk out of the palace, and when they're reaching to the gate, to the gate of the palace, just when Ram is going to step out, Ram turns towards Sita. He removes the garland from his neck and puts it on Sita's neck and smiles at her. He's indicating that when I'm leaving from here, I'm going as a king. But when I come back, I'm going to come back as a beggar. And as a beggar, I will not be able to give you anything. The only thing I can give you after this as gifts is forest flowers and leaves. I can't give you gold, I can't give you diamonds, I can't give you anything else. Will you still accept me? And Sita smiles at Ram and she weaves an imaginary garland around Ram's neck. And she tells him, for me, my pleasure is being with you. That's all. And Ram walks out. In this particular story, there's a very, very beautiful thought that we need to focus on. Mother Sita is Bhumi Suta, Avanitanaya. What is the meaning of being the child of earth? The first thing is that earth represents tolerance. Earth represents forbearance, right? You do whatever you want to the earth. Earth will still bear your weight. Earth will still support you, isn't it? You do all the harm you want to the earth, but still the earth is going to support you, bear your weight. That's the meaning of the word forbearance. So Mother Sita is like the earth, extremely tolerant. No matter what the situation of life is, she is going to be tolerant. And the second thing about nature, Mother Nature, is that nature is our mother. And the mother is always thinking about the welfare of her children, no matter how naughty they are. If you study Sita's life through the Ramayana, why did Sita go to the forest with Ram? Many reasons. But one of the reasons is that she wanted to make sure that Ram doesn't unnecessarily kill people. Whenever Sita was with Ram, Ram never killed a demon. We study the Ramayana. Through the Ramayana, whenever there was an opportunity where Sita was there with Ram, even if a demon came, he maximum cut off the ears or nose. At one point he removed one eye, but he never killed any demon. But whenever Sita was not there, he killed so many demons. Why? Because Sita would never allow that to happen. Sita is a divine mother. She has so much compassion for all the living entities in this world. So no matter how naughty you are, still she loves you. Still, she will always think about your welfare. Even if you harm her. This Kakasur harmed Sita. In spite of she being harmed, she only thought good about him. So here, this refers to that Ram that is attracted by this quality of Sita. Avani Tanaya Kamitaram. Kamitaram, the word Kamita means mesmerized or attracted. So to which Sita? Avani Tanaya. So that Sita who is very tolerant. So all of us in our own lives, we can see that when somebody does something wrong to us, how angry we get. If somebody does something bad to us, how upset we get, isn't it? And to the extent we forget only that we are devotees. We can be really vicious. We can really wish harm to them. How can a heart which has forbearance, how can a heart that has the love of a mother think of harming anybody else? See, yes. Yeah, but that's not what Sita's. See, now there are ways to, for Sita, there is ways to liberate even without killing. She prefers that. So the point is, so of course we are not getting into philosophy, we're looking at the kindness of Sita. So that that quality of Sita, that kindness of Sita is what attracts Ram. So that's why he's called as Avani Tanaya Kamitaram. So we'll do one more verse for today. Pitravakya Srita Kananaram. So here, Dasharath Maharaj, through Kaikai, spoke those two boons. So Kaikai told Ram that you have to go to the forest for 14 years and Bharat will become the king instead of you. And Kaikai tells Ram that the king is very exhausted and he is not able to speak. So Ram says, my dear mother, why did you even have to involve him? If you had told me, I would have gone to the forest. Dasharath Maharaj does not have to tell me. Even if you had told me, I would have gone to the forest. And Ram says, for me, there is nothing greater than following the instructions of my father. And eventually, Dasharath Maharaj feels very bad for what he has done, And he feels really sad that Ram has to go through so much because of him. Dasharath Maharaj starts telling Ram, don't go to the forest, you arrest me, put me in jail, and you rule the kingdom. Ram tells his father, my dear father, why are you saying like this? He says, the moment the instruction was given to me that I had to go to the forest for 14 years, that moment itself I left. So this word, Pitra Vakya, is a very powerful word in Ram's life. Once his father gives an instruction, that's all. He follows the instruction for his life. If you actually study the life of many of our great exalted devotees, like for example, Srila Prabhupada, his guru gave him instruction, 1922, bas. One instruction, entire life dedicated to it. Entire life dedicated to that one instruction. That's what the meaning of this word is. Pitravake Shrita Kananaram. This absolutely focused on that one instruction of the teacher. If you look at many of Prabhupada's disciples, Prabhupada gave his disciples some instructions. Like we know of this very exalted devotee, disciple of Prabhupada named Bhakti Marga Maharaj. I remember meeting him a couple of years back, and he told me, Prabhupada gave me an instruction that I should direct dramas. 50 years back, instruction was given once. Till today, he is directing dramas. Now, all of you, I'm sure you all have been involved in some seva to do dramas in your Krishna conscious days, isn't it? I remember, I directed dramas when I was 20s. After that, I never directed. I think it is like kiddish type of thing to do, So you get over it, basically. But look at this person. 50 years later, he still feels, Prabhupada has told me I should direct dramas, and his dramas are another level. Means, he's following the instruction of Prabhupada, but not mechanically. He's improvising on it, getting better and better and better. Every time I watch the dramas of Bhakti Marga Maharaj, what he's directed, I get goosebumps. High quality dramas, better than movies of today. All on stage. So now this is what it is. Pitravakya Shrita Kanana Ram. So this word Pitravakya, for us, it is more like Guru Vakya. It is more like our seniors, our mentors, our people who are our Siksha Gurus, who give us instructions from time to time. The problem with our memories and our intention is that we don't have any intentions of following it only. Because we don't have any intention of following it, we don't remember it. See, where your intention is, that's what your memory is. If your intention is there to follow, you'll remember. If you don't have any intention to follow, you will definitely not remember. Many people tell me, Prabhuji, what instruction Maharaj has given you? I said, Baba, there are very specific instructions. It's a very specific personal exchange between a guru and disciples. It is not something that is just general, basically. And every single devotee develops a very personal connection with their teachers. And it's not necessarily only with Diksha Guru. It can be with Siksha Gurus also. And instructions need not be told, this is instruction for you. Instruction can happen over a conversation. Instruction can happen over a discussion. But the weight that you give is what this verse is all about. The weight that you give to those words is what this is about. Lord Ram, he gave so much weight to the words of his superiors. After Dasharath Maharaj told all this, then he goes and meets Kaushalya. Mother Kaushalya tells him, see, you are saying that Pitra Vakya is so important. What about Matra Vakya? She's saying, I am giving you instruction, don't go. Will you follow his instruction? Will you follow my instructions? Ram, amazing. You know what Ram tells Kaushalya? He tells, I will follow all your instructions, but I'll follow it in the order in which it was given. Dasharath Maharaj gave instruction first. So 14 years I'll follow his instructions. Then after 14 years when I come back, then I'll follow your instructions. Don't go anywhere. It's amazing, isn't it? Eventually Vashishta comes and tells him, he says, I'm your guru. I'm not only your guru, I'm the guru of your guru. And I'm telling you, you come back to Ayodhya. And Ram tells him also that, I'll come back for sure. But I'll come back in the order in which the instructions are given. I'll follow every one of your instructions in the same order. And he does that, you know. So this weightage that we give to the instructions of our spiritual teachers, of our masters, is what this Ram is about. Pitra Vakya Shrita Kanana Ram. This is the Ram that does not disobey. He's a very obedient Ram, basically. So obviously now we are not in a position to give instruction to Ram, but we can derive inspiration from Ram. We can derive inspiration from Ram, we can derive blessings from Ram, and we can derive hope from Ram that just like he was so, he gave so much importance to the words of his teachers, of his gurus, of his father, of his parents. Similarly, let us give very much importance and weight to the words that come out from the mouth of our masters, of our teachers, of our gurus, Siksha and Diksha gurus, so that those words direct our life. Hare Krishna. I'll stop here. Thank you very much. Any quick questions or comments? Anybody has any? Yes.
Questions I have, maybe start with reverse. One is Bhakti Marg Maharaj dramas. You said, where can we watch and how can we? Is it available?
I think many of them should be on YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Should be there.
Okay. And then the other is maybe it's a technicality, Prabhuji, but you said whenever Ram killed a demon, Sita was not there. But I remember, is there an exception where Ram kills the 14,000 demons?
Sita was not there.
Oh, I thought she was.
Ram sent Sita to the cave first. And then he killed. He made sure Sita was not there. He sent her with Lakshman to the cave. No exception. Absolutely.
Hare Krishna. And then another quick question, Prabhuji. So about Ram's Vak, I remember only 4 things. You said 5. Like strength of a tiger, majesty of an elephant, speed of a serpent, and then like a royal look of a lion. I missed the 5th one.
Pride of a bull.
Pride. Okay. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you for the wonderful lecture. So Prabhuji, you told about that Sita Mata actually also she could pick up the bow when she was a child. So one question that came naturally to my mind is that Sita Mata herself would have great strength, and probably she could have defended herself when Sita Haran happened. So why at that time she didn't defend herself? Yeah.
This is the greatness of Mother Sita. She wanted the credit of being saved to go to her husband. She tells Ravan this also. See, the greatness of these devotees is that they don't want to take credit. Hanuman could have killed Ravan easily. Why he didn't kill him? He doesn't want to take the credit of killing Ravan. Vali did it. Vali defeated Ravan. But Hanuman never defeated Ravan. Hanuman took, allowed Ram to get the credit. So Sita could have burnt Ravan easily. But she told him that I will not do it because I want my husband to get the credit of coming and killing you. That's the answer.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanavad Pranam. So my question is on the Pitra Vakya. So is it like every time Pitra Vakya, sometimes when you say like Prahlad Maharaj in that case, so is it like he followed or so how we need to perceive in a real life? So sometimes if parents are not Krishna conscious, they, like it is quite a complicated scenario to follow.
See, basically, it doesn't mean that you follow blindly. See, Bali Maharaj, he disobeyed his guru. This is talking about those words that are in alignment with what scriptures recommend. Those words that are not against the scriptures. That's what it is. So when Dasharath Maharaj gave an instruction to Ram, it is not anything against the scriptures. It was for the benefit of the world only in one sense. Greater good happened because of that. So whenever you are given words that are in alignment with the scriptures, always by following those words, greater good happens. So the purpose of these words is for a greater good. It is not for any harming anybody or anything like that. It's always for a greater good. That's the kind of words that we follow. It's not just blind following. And definitely scriptures don't recommend blind following. Okay. So just wanted to introduce to all of you all that in the last couple of months, I've been doing this whole series of talks known as Applied Bhagavatam, where I'm sharing the entire Bhagavatam in a very simple story-based narrative where you can learn from the whole Bhagavatam. So this is available every Thursday evening in India Standard Time, live classes that happen. I do it in ISKCON Chapati, but it's devotees from all over the world can join in and hear. It's on a YouTube live. But the links of it are broadcasted in a Telegram group. So this is a QR code for the Telegram group. If any of you all would want to be a part of this, you're most welcome. I would like to invite all of you to be a part of this. Why this particular Telegram group? Because in this group, I share the notes for every single class. So the end of, practically first canto of Bhagavatam is just completed, but you will find all the links of the first canto of Bhagavatam notes in that Telegram group. So if you join in there, you will get access to these notes. And all the future classes that I do from the second canto onwards, you will get live links of it. You can join in. You're most welcome to benefit from the Bhagavatam. Hopefully in the next 2 or 3 years, I'm planning to complete the entire Bhagavatam. For a lot of devotees, they will never in their entire life read the whole Bhagavatam. They're struggling to read. So I'm trying to make the Bhagavatam digestible and very easy to learn and apply from. So if anybody who wants to be a part of this, you're most welcome. It's completely free of charge. And at your pace, you can learn. And in this group, I also post, regularly online classes that I do and many things that I do. So this is like a good community to be a part of so that you are connected with me in some way or the other. Thank you very much, and I look forward to meeting all of you on 16th now. The last session of Naam Ramayana will happen on 16th evening. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.